Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, March 24th, and this is a message going out to all of the team in the Arkansas Department of Education. Obviously, our current situation is one that is unprecedented in modern times. We have never seen this type of event, and we have a lot of questions, probably more questions than we have answers. But I wanted to take some time today just to deliver a message to you to let you know, one, how much I appreciate, how much the leadership team appreciates the work you do every day. So during this time, the number one thing I want to tell you is stay safe. Follow the CDC and the Health Department guidelines. Follow the social distancing guidelines that they have issued, the hand washing, the cleaning. So please stay safe. Let's minimize the spread of this coronavirus, and the more that we are able to do that, the sooner this will be over, or at least this major part would subside, and we can start to see how we can get back to more normal routines. The second thing I want to talk about is just to know that while your workplace may have changed, your location may have changed, our core mission, our core vision, our values have not changed. We are working to keep education going. And even when we're working remotely, it's working to keep education going. It's helping ABC centers around the state stay open so they can provide that valuable support to our healthcare workers and others that otherwise would have trouble showing up to work at the medical facilities as EMTs, first responders, you name it. I mean, we're trying to keep places open so to give them that level of support. Our teachers, our support staff around our schools are getting paid, doing a lot of work, delivering, preparing AMI assignments, getting those out. It's spring break this week, so I hope there's not any AMI work going on. They need to take some time to take a break. Libraries. Our libraries have limited their access, but you also read stories where our libraries around the state are opening up their Wi-Fi, directing it so that people can access it in the parking lot. Our college campuses are doing the same thing. So all of those efforts are ways that we are continuing to adhere and live by our vision and our mission and our values. Want to address something else that even though we have folks working remotely, I've gotten some feedback and some concern voiced about the term essential versus non-essential. And let me tell you, there is essential work going on everywhere. If you're working from home, the work you're doing is essential. The term essential versus non-essential is simply a term of art that applies when we have an extreme emergency situation and essential personnel for the sole purpose of ensuring that continuity of operations. The governor has been very clear the operations of government need to continue, and so that's what that refers to. It's not a value judgment of your job, your position, or the work that you do. It is simply a term that we use when we're in an emergency situation like we are now. But again, essential work is taking place, and I really appreciate the effort that you are making to make that happen. The third thing I want to talk about is many of you have read, or maybe you saw the governor's press conference where he talked about the budget. So this fiscal year 20, we are looking, because of the impact, the economic impact of COVID-19 and the response to that of pushing the tax filing deadline into July, we are looking at, across the whole state government, a $353 million reduction in the forecast for this fiscal year. So how does that affect the Arkansas Department of Education? Well, the public school fund is safe. We have reserves that we will be able to cover the amount that is going to be reduced going into the public school fund. We have reserves that can cover that, so schools are not going to be impacted by this budget reduction. Our institutions of higher education, their performance funding was in Category B, and Category B has been reduced to 0. So that is going to have an impact, and we're working with our financial folks at the institutions of higher education to determine what that impact will be, but that's something that we will work through with them. ABC program. ABC is safe. It's part of the public school fund. So as I mentioned, there's no damage that will be done there, no direct impact on that budget. As far as operations across the agencies, we're going to be looking at things like travel. Obviously that's an easy one because there is no travel right now for the rest of the fiscal year that we know of. Discretionary costs. Where are those things that we don't have to pay out for the rest of the year, and are those some adjustments that we can make there? But one thing that I will say is that I believe that we are well positioned to weather this storm on the budget. The reason I say that is because since last July, you have all worked very hard, have been great partners in the transformation of state government to bring all of the education entities under the Department of Education. That process has really helped us get leaner, helped us get stronger, and I think will help us weather this storm, and we'll see if the budget reduction will be greatly mitigated by the work that we've already done here in this agency. So we're well positioned to address that. Now finally, there's a word that comes to mind when I think about our agency. I think about all the divisions in our agency, and I think about the people in our agency. So hopefully Kim is going to be able to get this, and maybe you can even zoom in on it for a second, but resilient. We are a resilient people. The people of Arkansas are resilient. I believe the people of the United States are resilient, but I know that we are here in this agency. And I know it's tough to go through what we're going through now and be optimistic, but I am optimistic. I'm optimistic that in the coming weeks we're going to see a peak, and we're going to see the treatment, the testing, and all the things that come about in a response to a health crisis are going to happen, and we're going to learn more about that, and the news is going to start getting better. That helps us be resilient, to have confidence that the greatest minds in science and health are working on this and advising the governor on what we need to be doing. The other thing that gives me optimism is just the nature of our people to look to the future, to look to a time when we come out of this stronger and better. And I know that I can count, and the leadership team at ADE can count on all of you to be our partner in that, to help us get the word out, help us squelch rumors that are typically are common in a time like this. When we see things that we need you to help us address, we'll get that out to you. Hope that this will be in the coming weeks. There'll be other opportunities to reach out to you. If you have questions about anything that you're hearing in the news, anything that you're seeing, or anything coming out of the governor's press conferences, don't hesitate. Shoot me an email, and we'll try to get an answer for you. But in the meantime, I'll end where I started. Stay safe. Follow the precautions. Do everything in your power to minimize exposure, to minimize the exposure of your families, and we will soon be back to hopefully a normal time of business and doing the work that we need to do. But in the meantime, stay safe and be cautious. We'll talk to you later.